Well, welcome everybody to the Daily BLP podcast, what I like to call the Daily Blip, where we do a couple little things here every day. We talk to clients when we can bring them in and talk a little bit about what like working with Panacea, talk about internal team members and their achievements and how they're shucking and jiving and kicking butt, sales, business growth, and even current events. So if everybody's ready, we've got a few guests on the line that we're going to talk to today. Let's jump right in. So normally we would go to a guest client testimonial spotlight, but we've got nobody because we haven't asked anybody to come on yet. So that'll be happening soon. So hang tight on that one. But what we will jump into is I wanted to chat a little bit about, one of the things that's real near and dear to my heart, even though, no one really loves doing it, but when you love the results, you love the work that you have to do, is outbound, sales and marketing. What some of my folks on our team like to call pre-sale stuff. So cold calling, everybody hates it, but it still works. It's still relevant. Results quicker. And I think in hindsight now, and I'll talk about this a little bit with one of our guests from our team over there, is I think we might have pulled the trigger too fast on letting them go. Maybe we were too hasty on the results that we were looking for because he was a hungry worker. He was the kind of guy that, when we would critique his work, he would say, okay, and he'd go back and change it and change his approach because he really wanted to get good results too. I think our problem was, and one of the things we got to learn from as an organization is how to curb our enthusiasm on the results that we're expecting in a certain period of time. So, I only think it was a couple months, maybe 3 months or so that he was with us. But I think we let him go maybe a little under a month ago. And late last week, I think it was Thursday, I got a call who we didn't know who it was from, but from someone that was on his list that he had first left a message with, called a couple times, actually talked to the person from that organization. And she said, I'm just not really looking right now. Maybe, keep me on the list, follow up. A lot of the things we get when we're cold calling, we get sick of hearing that kind of thing. We think we're just being blown off, but a lot of times we're not. This person called, talked to me, and I always ask, or at least if I remember to, I try to ask, where'd you hear about us? How'd you find us? And she said, yeah, I got a call from, she said Adam, but his name was Adnan. Easy to, misinterpret that name, but I got a call from Adam. And at the time, I wasn't really looking, but now I am. I really want to hear about your revenue cycle management services and if it's an opportunity to work together with us. So I was like, wow. Immediately, my gut kind of sank. I was like, man, this was kind of the win we were looking for him. And it came like 2 weeks too late, but these kind of things happen and we learn from it. We talked about it internally. Like I said, we might talk about this a little bit in a minute with one of our guests, is we probably should have gave him a little bit more slack. But there was some other things he was doing that we thought could have been better and that, that tipped the scales out of his favor. But anyway, so that was really neat. So I had a discovery call with that person and, presented a proposal to her. And it's funny, I got a email back from her this morning. I haven't had a chance to follow up on it because I'm doing this stuff. But she's like, hey, we've decided to go with a different service called Azalea, which is a company that is an EHR company, or EMR, if you prefer EMR over EHR, electronic health record or electronic medical record. But this company also has a billing service that kind of tacks onto their software. A lot of these EHR companies are doing this where they're selling the software, and as opposed to charging $300 or $500 per medical provider per month in a practice, they're saying, hey, give us 3, 4, 5, 6% of your revenue that we help you collect from our billing service, and then you get the software for free. It seems really enticing because, I'm getting a billing service, I got to pay someone to do that anyway, and I'm getting the EHR for free. This is awesome. Let's do it. But typically what we've found with a number of these, we've yet to come across one that's really good at it, is they kind of sell you a bill of goods saying we're going to do awesome billing and everything's going to be fine and you're not going to have to worry about anything. You're just going to get paid. It's going to be great. What tends to happen is these billing services that are tacked onto the software, they may send out a claim, but they don't do any work. They're not doing AR follow-up. They're not checking on rejections. They're not doing any prior authorization. A lot of different stuff. Not to bore everybody to tears with what revenue cycle management involves, but we've got a client that is in Arizona that we've been doing billing for, and the whole more than billing, coding and all the things for about 2 to 3 years now. And she was doing the Azalea Health thing. It's her EHR, and they were doing her billing, but it was terrible. I mean, she was not getting anywhere near the revenue she should have, or reimbursements from insurance payers that she should have, because again, they're only doing the minimum to get things out the door. And if you cast a wide net and you catch 2 fish, but you miss the other 1,000 fish, you should probably look into getting a better net that doesn't lead the fish through. So she switched her billing to us, and because we're real people in real chairs with real certifications doing this work, we've gotten better results. She's been really happy. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to, crawl away and respond to the email saying, oh, thank you so much for your time, and maybe think of us next time if it doesn't work out. I'm going to connect her to this client. I'm going to say, hey, so happy you found something you think is going to work. I hope it does. But just in case you're interested, here's a client of ours in Arizona that used to use Azalea for their billing. I'd love, if you have time and you want to know what the results were, give her a call. And this client really likes us. I have a feeling they'll say, run away from that billing service. So we'll see what happens. But circling back to the original point of this part of the show, is cold calling can move the needle for sure. It's brutal. It can be a grind. A lot of people don't like doing it because they take it personally. We just got to get over it. It's not personal unless you're just really bad at it. Just be willing to every day look at the way you're doing things, and if you're not getting the results you're wanting from it, tweak some things. Try again the next day, and keep doing what's working. Stop doing what's not. Read books, watch videos, learn from people who are good at it. All right, moving on. That horse is dead. Little team member spotlight here. So moving over to our remote Zoom feed, coming at us from across the world is none other than the world famous Panacea Smart Solutions Panaclicks marketing manager, Manish Singh. Manish, are you there, brother?
Hey, Brian, I'm here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about how we are growing in the US market client base through smart digital marketing techniques. Yep. So I was listening you about the Adnan story, and yep, that was a good lesson for us.
Yeah.
So yep, we hired him, and he started working on a fast-paced track, and yep, he achieved some result. And one thing I found that after he left and we got a client call, yeah, that was an inspiring story, and that was a good lesson for us. Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And yeah, I do. I mean, it's kind of that gut feeling. Oh man. And another thing, not to cover too much on Adnan, because I want to highlight you in this piece. But I mean, you hired him, you interviewed him, you got him in front of me to interview. He had a good resume. He's worked for a couple companies doing this type of work, and it was obvious he knew how to do it. And he was fearless. He was not reticent to get on a call or to send emails or to take critical feedback, right?
Yep. So, yep, I had him. I found a lot of candidates for this profile, for the pre-sales profile and outbound callings, and I do the interviews on the basis of some confidence. If a candidate has a confidence of doing something, and the credibility of that candidate is like to learn something new and to achieve something for them, for the organization. So I hired people on the basis of that thing, and a few things I just on a technical basis. So yep, that was a good good start for us. Yep. But anyways, that is something is not like I can say that is in the future can be more improvisation in my hiring process, in my interviewing process to get more deep digger to understand what is the capability of this candidate in the long
Mm-hmm.
run, not in the short term. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been with us now for right around a year, right?
Yeah.
It feels longer to
It's like
me.
more than a year. Yeah.
It feels
More
like, to
than a
me, it
year.
feels like 4 years. I don't know. Last year was a long year. I don't know if it went fast for you, but it didn't go fast for me.
It went fast for me, and I was very occupied with the things. That's why it went very fast for me. So yeah, for you, it I can say it seems like a 4 years, because what I feel that me and you work closely, so
Mm-hmm.
we discuss everything every time, the strategy, the KPIs, results that we are getting from our marketing strategies or marketing efforts. So I believe we have done a lot of calls, we have done a lot of strategies, we have interchanged our ideas, everything. So it seems like I know brand from the long 5 years.
Yeah. Right.
It seems to
Yeah.
me like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That tends to happen when you spend a lot of time together, doesn't it? So when you first started with us, let's go back in time a little bit. What was kind of what was kind of going through your head? Were you nervous? Were you like, what is this company? What am I getting into? And just be honest. What was it like when you started, or right before you started?
Okay, so
Because you were on
to be
your own.
very
You didn't have a
honest,
team yet. It was just you. You were a first person on our marketing team.
exactly. So first of all, that was an honor. Like I joined the Panacea Smart Solution, and when I got selected for the interview round with you. So I got a call from Panacea Smart Solution. Then I have done my one round of interview with the GM operations in India location, and then I was scheduled for another round with you, and we had a good discussion about the marketing strategies and the challenges in the marketing. And I found that the vision that you have, and after you, I got a chance to discuss with the Manny about the role positions and the company's challenges and the company's performance, how we are performing, and what is our vision. So after considering, because I didn't ask something bigger from the Panacea Smart Solution, I was seeking for a position where I can face a lot of things, and because I want to accept a lot of challenges, bigger challenges, and I want to grow something bigger. I want to make something big. So I have seen that vision in you and many, and that fascinated me. This is a something right place where we are doing something great work, where we have a great vision to create something big solution for the US market, whether it comes to the marketing solution, whether it comes to the billing RCM solution or scribe services or the managed IT services. So
Mm.
Panacea is basically doing a lot of great, providing a great solutions with some experts in the India team, and we are continuously growing, learning every day, and facing the new challenges and solving the challenges. So that few things, the vision and the company's vision and the way they are working, the all leaders are not sitting on a chair and just talking about and speaking about the ideas.
Mm.
They are going deep in, they are involving themselves in the problem, and they are coming out with a solution. So they are working as a team. Whether you or Manny, everyone is very involved in every aspect, in every department, in every problem, whatever we are facing, or we as a team or client, and you people are coming with a solution. That fascinated me, and then I joined Panacea Solutions, and I wanted to build a team in Panacea, something like that. Under me, it's like 10 or 15 people. It's the same. They should have the same passion and enthusiasm working in the marketing team with the same vision and goal. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
So yeah, the biggest things I remember bringing you in. The things we wanted to solve is we wanted to build an internal team, right? We wanted the specific, whether it be boots on the ground type of marketing here, or digital marketing, or whatever. We wanted the right people in the right seats on the bus that way, and that started with you. We also wanted to take our overall company brand as Panacea Smart Solutions, kind of unify it above and with all those other service brands that we've developed, whether it be Panatech for IT managed services, or Panaclicks for digital marketing, or Pana Health for our healthcare solution services, or Pana, we're working on different things like virtual kiosks and actual people on the other side of those kiosks for like front desk greeting services for companies, Pana Greet and all these other things, VA solutions. But it's challenging, right? So of all those things that were kind of put on the table for you to take care of, what's been the biggest challenge for you over the last year?
So my biggest challenge was like to bring a right talent for the organization, what I was facing in the last 1 year. That was the biggest challenge in the marketing, because you have been working in the marketing and sales for a long time, and even I have spent my 1 decade in the marketing. And what I noticed, this specifically marketing and sales is not a spoon feeding job, and that is not a bed of roses. That is very challenging. We need to become with extra creativity, innovation every day. We need to think something out of the box every day. So when we hire few people in the marketing team and we assign them a specific role and position, we had for the let's say we hire a content writer for a specific position for the content writing. So that content writer knows how to write the content. That's it, and they think like, this is my job that I have been doing. I don't care about the company's growth. I don't care about your ideas. I don't care about your vision. So I faced that challenge. I have read some article now. The current scenario of the market, the person is only focused for their input. They are not focusing for the output. They don't care about the company's growth. They don't think, okay, this is a job. I should respect for my job. I should put some extra contribution to grow the company. If the company grows, we will grow. We will learn a lot of things. So our career will be developed. So I have seen that lack in the recent talents, which were like a recent generation who is coming and giving the interviews to me and want to develop career in marketing and sales. So I have seen a lack. They are coming to just fill their pocket with the money every month, and they want to just spend the money on their expenditure, but they don't want to. They are really not aware what is marketing, what is sales. They want to make a career in marketing and sales for money only. So I was just facing these challenges in recent 1 year. I interviewed a lot of candidates, but I found few of them has that zeal, that potential. They wanted to learn, they wanted to grow, they wanted to grow themselves alongside with the company's growth. They were very honest with their work. So I found few folks, they are doing extremely well and they are fantastic in their role. But major of the time I found that challenge only. So that's the only challenge. Otherwise, everything was flawless in the Panacea. It's been like more than 1 year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it happens in a lot of different types of, let's say departments or types of work. But, like you're talking about with marketing, there's a lot of different things, digital marketing per se. So let's say SEO, there's a lot of different switches and levers you can pull, and you learn how to pull in your education that say, okay, this is what you have to do in order to prove SEO. You got to do this, you got to check this, you got to look at this, you got to do these things on a daily basis or weekly basis. And it should give you outcome. Input A should give you outcome B. That's what we learn. But the reality of it is outcome B doesn't always happen. Well, when you're working out of a book and you're learning skills, outcome B is the best case scenario. If you do this, this should happen. But, marketing, digital marketing, like a lot of things, isn't an exact science. There's a science to it. That's the input. The art is what are all the things you can do after you've done the science to positively influence the outcome you're looking for. And that can be painful, right? Because if we do a lot of work, if we take any one of the members on our team, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears for 40 hours doing the things they've learned how to do that should give us an awesome outcome, but we get to the end of that week and we review it the next week and we don't have that outcome, it's disheartening, right? And what happens with people when they're young, they don't know that. And then all of a sudden you get into the real world of doing that, and then you see that outcome isn't what you expected, and that it hurts a little bit. And then what you start to do is you avoid looking at the outcome. You just put your head down and you just do the work. And, we're looking at outcomes, sitting in our chairs on high in our management roles, blah, blah, blah. We're not getting the results we have. And, as opposed to being okay with looking at the results that might not be where we want, but we have to go back and introspectively look at what are the things we're doing, because sometimes the things we learned aren't going to give us the results we want, because the world changes fast. It's like that, not to get outside of the realm, but in IT work, a lot of people go to school for 4 years to learn a lot of different things in the IT world to do professionally. The trick is, if you study the one thing for 4 years using technology of that era, by the time you get out and you get into the workplace, the technology you have to use is beyond that. What you've learned it on is old, because it moves so fast. And I would argue it happens in marketing too, because how often is Google changing their algorithms, right? How often are all these things on the back end, the social media networks, changing the way their ads work, changing the way that, they put video content or written content out in front of people. So that can be challenging. All right. Real quick, before we finish your spotlight, 2024 was kind of a pilot for us with our Panaclicks, right? Like, we didn't have a website launch. We brought you in, said, okay, Manish, build us a team. Start working internally on our marketing, because we don't want to pay outside companies to do it anymore. We've done that. It's been great, but we've outgrown that. We want to do it ourselves now. And we want to see if we can build a team that can start to support clients as well. And we started doing that, right? We brought in, we didn't bring those clients in by them seeing our website or any of that kind of stuff. We didn't have ads out. What we did is we just kind of bootstrapped it, found people through referrals or what have you that needed marketing services, and said, let us do it. And we did it. And I would say it went pretty good. If we take our two main digital marketing clients right now, Sock Health and 21 Medical, I think those are pretty good success stories, don't you?
Yeah, I believe that. So, Brad, what I feel in a US market, in a US client, whatever client, whether it's healthcare, IT, marketing, or any industry, we are going to pitch for the marketing. They only look for the trust and credibility before doing the business with marketing solutions. Yeah. And that's the only reason we are getting success with the client's marketing and with our marketing. Because whatever content we are publishing, whatever knowledge we are sharing through our digital content, that builds some trust to the audience. We are not doing any fake, like, okay, this much achievement, we got it.
Yep.
We are publishing every number in the actual manner.
Yep.
So that's what I believe, like, trust and credibility is the most important thing for the doing business or doing marketing with the US clients. And when I say for the 21 Medical and Sock Health, it was a great achievement for us, for them also. When we started working with the 21 Medical, they had only a business plan in a 3-page document.
They were 6 months before they opened their business when we started developing their stuff.
Exactly. So they had only a business plan. I hope you remember, they had only a business plan in a PDF document.
That's it. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So we developed everything from the scratch, from the logo to final website designing, deployment of the website, launching the social media, and launching SEO, launching email campaigns, doing the inbound. So what we focus as digital marketing in Panaclicks as a team, basically we focus to make a mixed taste of the inbound and outbound strategies to grow our clients, not sending them every month the KPI reports in the Excel format. We have done this much activities. Right. We are sending them the reports, like how we are growing them, how we are giving them the business. So,
and they're working. I mean, that was they started out in July with 0 patients coming in the door, and now I think he's seeing somewhere close to 100 visits a week, and it rises. And that's due to the work you guys are doing.
Exactly. That's a huge number.
Yep. In less than a year of being open. In less than a year. And it's hard.
In less than a year, yeah.
If Sean was sitting right here with me, and we'll have him on one of these days, Sean O'Keefe, their owner, he would say, man, it's rough. We got to grow more. Yeah, we do. But, I mean, getting through that first year is always tough, because he's paying back a lot of business loans and stuff. The next objective is through the roof, and hit year 5, keeping his doors open. So rocking and rolling there. Well, Manish, thank you. We went a little bit along on this segment. That's okay. That's why we're testing this thing out and figuring out how to fit it into the things. But this is a perfect example of what I want to do to highlight the work our team is doing. That's you and your team with you. It ain't easy. It's a struggle. It's stressful. But I think our company and our clients appreciate the work that you guys are doing for us. It's really important.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to move on, do a little bit of current events here. We have another guest on the line, my good friend Matt from Pivot Studios, who helps out with the production of this cast and consulting, as well as our monthly cast that we've moved to with our outside guests. He had a great idea. I was like, what's going on in the world today? Because my head's down, and sometimes I get a YouTube clip here and there and what's going on. So apparently planes are falling out of the air, basically. That's what everybody's like the sky is falling. What's going on?
Yes, yeah, it seems like sky is falling. Planes are just landing backwards and crashing and all over the place. So yeah, I have this app called Citizen that gives you current events, and almost every day I feel like I'm seeing something, whether it's a near miss or something. But I don't know if it's air operation is just kind of sleeping at the wheel or what's going on. But yeah, it's just been all over the place. I've been getting notifications.
I'm looking at pictures of this right now. I just pulled up images of Google of this. I didn't know there was a plane that landed upside down. When did this happen?
So the upside down was not this past Monday, the Monday before, I believe. And the crazy thing is every single person survived. And then now what I hear is they're now offering $30,000 per person for it. And so my thought is they're offering $30,000. I wonder if some people are going to lawyer up and try to get more. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah, that sounds like hush money to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I tell you what, that's great that they're paying anything. I tell you, if it was me, maybe it would be different. I was there, but I'd be happy to be alive. I tell you what, I mean, we've all been on plane rides, probably lots of them, and I get nervous when we get the turbulence a little bit or something seems a little funky. Man, you hit those turbulence and it feels like you're in a Tonka plane, something that's a toy, because everything seems to jiggle way more than it should. Kind of like, the fat around my waist. But it's like, I'm looking at a picture of this. How do you eat? Is this something that pilots train for? I know they train for a lot of scenarios, how to land in the water, how to land here, how to do this, how to do that. What if your equipment doesn't come out? All that stuff. But upside down? I mean,
I know they were landing in Canada, and it was really icy on the runway, so it looked like they were coming into the runway, because there was one guy I saw a video that was air operation control, and he was videoing it before it even landed. So there are people that I guess that know planes and stuff. They knew that landing was off because people were filming it, and then you hit the runway with ice, and I assume he came in a wrong way, and the ice he kind of slid and turned.
I get nervous every time I land on a plane because I think of how unstable a tricycle is, and I remember. I mean, I'm old enough to remember in the 80s. Three-wheelers, you can't get them anymore unless you get them used. People sell them garage sales and stuff. But a buddy of mine down the road had a three-wheeler, and this was early 90s. It was already a time where they had been basically banned, but they had one. And he's like, "Hey man, you want to ride on my three-wheeler?" I'm like, I didn't want to seem like a wimp, so I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds like fun," but I was scared. I got on that thing, and I was like, he was flying, and we were in the in the cornfields and stuff. It was springtime, so it was all muddy and stuff, and nothing had come up. But and I'm like, man, one little thing has to hit wrong on that front wheel, and we're toppling, and we're donezo. And every time I land in a plane, I'm freaking out because how can this big beast basically land on 3 sets of wheels and be perfectly balanced when we're going hundreds of miles an hour? I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Does this make you nervous, Matt, about getting on a plane?
Not personally. Not. I've never, for whatever reason, I've never really been scared of flying. It's never really. I kind of enjoy it, and I'm weird. I kind of like the turbulence, so I'm weird like that. So I've never really it never really did that. The one thing, and I don't know if this is a bad way to think of it, the one thing that where my mind goes is, okay, our ticket's going to start getting cheaper. So we go travel it. That's where my mind goes. Yeah. But I know talking to my friends though, and just talking about this, that it's spooking some people from flying. I know for sure.
Man, what do you think about this plane stuff happening? This is only February.
Okay. So basically, my personal experience is like I avoid to fly.
You don't like
most of
flying.
the time. Exactly. So I have some, fear factor in my mind when I sit in a plane. So that is every time is running in my mind. Oh my God, this is going to be crash or something like that. Where would be
What am I gonna
my
do?
family? Exactly. So I always prefer to travel by road, by my car.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I always say a little prayer. I don't get super nervous. I don't get air sick. I don't get like anxious or anything like that. But it's always in my mind that I'm traveling in a big, Coke can in the sky. Like, I remember, I go back to this, whether I'm driving sometimes or flying with a bunch of people or whatever. I remember my psychology teacher in college, he said this once. He's like, what people have to understand is none of us were made to do all the things we're doing. Like, our bodies weren't created in a way to be going hundreds of miles an hour on the ground, in the sky, whatever, right? Like, physically our bodies are able to withstand trauma from this, basically to some degree, from the speed that we can propel ourselves. You know what I mean? Outside of that, we're in trouble. So it's like all the things that we do that we can do because of technology, it's like, man, like we weren't made to necessarily do those things. So I get it. I will say I'm always like, I'll always say a little prayer for my family, for everybody on the plane, for the pilots and the attendants, all that. I'm just like, man, I hope everybody had their Wheaties this morning and drank their V8 because here we go. And usually it's like, once we get up in the air, I'm like, okay, we're good. And I don't think about it at all. Even with some jiggles, I'm like, this is normal. And or you feel that thing where you like drop 3 feet in your seat, like, whoa, what was that? How did that happen? The floor just fell out of the chair. But yeah, seeing something like this, I mean, man, I'm gonna have to take a look at some interviews. Did they interview the pilots or anything like that? Has anything come out on like, well, I just picture like an interview after like a NASCAR race of the the driver. It's like, well, it's a team effort up there. We do what we can do, and I'm just glad we came down in one piece. It's like
little post game interview. How did you do it? How'd you feel? I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah,
but
I'm not gonna lie.
I've only seen one interview of. It was from the guy that he took a video. You should watch this. He took a video coming out of the plane, like inside the plane. He took a video of him coming out and them like shuffling everyone out. I've only seen him interviewed. I would assume Delta probably asked their pilots to not do interviews. I assume they're trying to get this out of the news as quick as possible.
You're right. I mean, but I tell you what, it's a dang miracle.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, because someone had to have known how to, pilot and adjust and steer a plane upside down. I mean, how do you even end up at that point when you're thinking, man, it's not going to work right side up because, okay, our gear can't come down. Are you telling me a plane's better equipped to land upside down with no gear than it is right side up with no gear? I know. Maybe I just someone probably knows a lot more about this and the reasoning, but I just heard about this from you today, man, before we started the show. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It really is wild. And everyone survived. And so, yeah, God bless that happened. And it really is a miracle, like you said. And
I got, Manny's in town. He's like, we got to travel more. We got to go visit all of our clients all over the country. If we don't have stuff on the calendar, we got to get out and meet with people. I'm like, okay, we're driving. Nah, it'll be fine. I do remember, though, years ago, first time flying on Spirit Airlines. Has anybody on the call ever flown on Spirit?
I've never done Spirit. I've done Frontier, though, which is like the kind of just like Spirit. It's more prevalent out here.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if Spirit's even around. I was like, I was pretty geeked that I could get a plane flight for like $80, back in 2017, 2016. whatever that was. And I'm like, I'd been on flights a lot at that point. That's what I expected. I got there and it was literally like going to the bus station. It was, and I remember hearing somebody saying, yeah, Spirit Airlines is the mass transit of air travel. It's like I felt like I was being herded. There was really like everybody was just kind of like almost like fending for themselves, trying to get on the plane and stuff. It was like, and then you get on and they're telling jokes and stuff, which I thought was kind of fun. Honestly, I like that kind of thing. So I thought it was cool. But I remember one time, like, when you see pilots come on the plane, they're very stoic and they look like they belong in the cockpit. Like these guys did not look like they belonged in the cockpit. At least for stereotypically what I was used to seeing. Like, yeah, that guy can fly the plane, sure. And there's one time I was like, man, can that guy even drive a car? But we got there, so I can't say anything bad. It was a great flight, no problems. It made me nervous. So, anyway, cool. All right, then. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this second episode recording of the Daily BLP. This is exciting. We're ironing out some things, and as we progress here in these episodes, we'll be having more guests, and we'll be nailing down our segments every day. So this was fun. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.